maybe it'll make people think twice about the crimes that they do if they're like, damn, like, I'll never be able to vote. Now, if the murderer gets out of jail and they did their time, can they vote?
Yeah, I believe in...
only in 15 states.
Yeah, not everywhere.
We're saying, like, what do we think? Like, I think they should be able.
What do you think, Lonnie?
There are some states that do allow felons to vote. You have to remember there are all types of felonies.
Yes.
You have the nonviolent felonies and you have the violent felonies.
Is a nonviolent felony selling drugs?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's where the slippery slope. And I'm glad this conversation is coming up, because what you have to understand is there's over 6.1 million Americans that are forbidden to vote because of felonies. And some of those felonies are nonviolent felonies. Clinton Smith, who's a teacher and a doctoral candidate at Harvard University, tweeted, "I've been working in prisons for 5 years, and now there is not a single person in there who doesn't deserve the right to vote. To suggest otherwise is to have a myopic, regressive view of who is and who is not deserving of citizenship." Because what they're saying is that, you know, when they get arrested, they're still citizens. So they still should be allowed to vote. My thing is...
While serving.
But I think that if for me, if it's violent, you should not.
Yeah.
So that's rape,
that's
the
what
murder
I'm saying.
Non-violent,
like,
though,
murder.
and the reason why I say non-violent, and you got to look at the system that we are in this country is really not fair. There are a lot of people that are serving time under harsh sentences
for selling marijuana.
And so it's like, is that... You know, they're being punished. We have to revolve, you know, and reform the whole prison system. That's the one thing you could say what Kim Kardashian is trying to do, what Van Jones is trying to do. They're trying to do the prison reform, and this will probably be a part of that reforming, because you have to understand that if it's nonviolent, I think they should be allowed to vote. Violent, no. All your rights are taken away. Hell, I don't even think your citizenship should be taken away.
You took someone's life away. Then maybe if
you commit terror on this country, I think your citizenship should be taken away. That's my personal opinion on that.
Like you guys said, I know it sounds weird. I'm honest. I feel like I need to learn more and hear more, and it's conversations like this that are helpful to me, and I hope helpful to some of you out there that maybe never thought about it, and you're sitting here like, okay,
never thought about it.
Maybe if you're violent, no, you shouldn't. Maybe if you're not. But that's why conversations like this need to happen, and that's why we need to start watching these town hall meetings and getting involved in what's happening in our government. We can't just sit back and be like, oh, it doesn't affect me.
And each state is different, because in Iowa and Kentucky, there's a lifetime ban for people. You go to jail, you just don't get to vote anymore. So each state is different, and that's why he came up with this, you know, for people that say that the Republicans are going to use this as an attack, they will, but you got to understand what he was trying to say. He was bringing up the conversation. He did say it's a slippery slope. I think he was caught off guard when Chris Cuomo asked him
the question.
You know, because that's what people do. They, you know, well, you mean the, you know, and I think he was, you know, in his head when
and
he
you
did
see where his heart is at when it comes to
And in comparison to other countries, America has the lowest show-up rate for voting. So I think that's what he was trying to get across. Like, democracy is important, and it's important for all of us to remember to get out there and vote.
Correct.
Yep, it's going to be a conversation.
And it's going to be ongoing and evolving. So.